Take the recent Supreme Court landscape of the last several years. That gives us the toolkit to accomplish what conservatives have talked about for a long time but haven't actually been able to deliver on. But this is the window in the North Star that allows us to save this country. Two examples of those cases in the last several years, the first of which is West Virginia versus EPA. Any West Virginians in the audience here? A couple of you. Good. You guys did a nice job challenging what I actually think was probably arguably the most important Supreme Court case of our generation, that held that if the law, it's a rule they call it, but functionally a law, if the rule did not go through Congress and it deals with a major question, a major economic or policy question, it's unconstitutional. It had to go through Congress if it has a major economic or policy consequence. That was seismic. That was in 2022, with the capstone coming this year in 2024 with the Loper-Bright case that held that any rule that had historically received deference, Chevron deference from the federal courts, going forward would no longer receive that level of deference from federal. Just those two cases alone. Let's give those people a round of applause. I appreciate that. And a 6-3 majority on the Supreme Court that backstops it. Those two cases alone, let alone SEC versus Jarkissi, countless other cases that have come down saying that the administrative state cannot serve as judge, jury, executioner, rule writer, and prosecutor under one roof. Administrative law judges no longer effectively issuing 99-0 records for the very agencies whose rules they're interpreting. This is a new landscape. It's a brave new world in the best of ways, for us to respect the Constitution as the new Supreme Court has told us that we must. That quite literally means that potentially a majority of existing federal regulations, as they exist on the books, are unconstitutional based on what the Supreme Court has already told us. As I said before, if we don't get this job done now of taming and downsizing our federal regulatory state, the body of federal regulations, the bureaucracy that goes along with it, if we don't get it done now, we never will. But I assure you, this is why we are here today. This is what President Trump was given a mandate to do by the American people. It was not a mandate for incremental reform. It was a mandate for sweeping reform. And that is what the voters actually deserve.